Arsenal's thirst for a UEFA Champions League trophy continues as the drought hits 71 years. Welcome to the ultimate tactical autopsy. Grab your tissues, Gooners, and rivals, grab your popcorn. Today we are diving deep into the investigative file of how Mikel Arteta's tactical machine marched all the way to Budapest, completely untouched, only to turn the 2026 Champions League final into a heart-wrenching repeat of history. Despite breaking their 22-year Premier League curse just weeks ago, Arsenal found a way to become the ultimate invisible runners-up of Europe, going 15 games completely unbeaten in open play, only to watch the trophy fly back to Paris. Now, folks, welcome to Football Insider UG. If you've just joined us, please do consider subscribing for all your latest sports news, updates, analysis, and transfer news. They all happen here. Football Insider UG. It is your one-stop center for all the latest news, updates, analysis, and everything you need to know about sports across the globe. My name is Moses. Welcome to the show. Please do consider sharing this video. Please like and comment. Leave a comment to us what your thoughts are about this show. And tonight, we delve deeper into the 20 reasons why we believe Arsenal must have lost the UEFA Champions League. So embarrassing, so pathetic, and hilarious. And they were not even close. No killer instinct, no experience, no trophy DNA, no mental bottle jobs, overhyped, always second place. You remember that statement that Patrice Evra said moments back, or years back, or a year back, that watching Arsenal is like watching Netflix. You always wait for the next season. He roasted them badly. I'm telling you. Patrice Evra roasted the Arsenal team, the Arsenal fans, the Arsenal coaching staff, and the management and the board and everyone at Emirates, that watching their football is like watching Netflix. You always wait for the next season. Folks, you're not going to wait for the next minute before I give you the 20 reasons why we believe Arsenal lost massively. And I don't know what adjectives add your favorite. Why Arsenal lost the UEFA Champions League just on the 31st day, the 30th day of May 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves, tighten your seatbelts. We are heading into this. Now, the 2026 UEFA Champions League final happened on the 30th day of May, year 2026 in Budapest. Now, in this video, I'm going to break down for you the 20 reasons our research desk has, of course, or have made your way to make you believe and understand why Arsenal must have lost the UEFA Champions League in an embarrassing, pathetic, and hilarious way. Reason number one, folks, the 12-yard stratospheric launch. Let's address the giant elephant in the room. Now, when the ultimate European prize comes down to a wire, you heard that right. You ought to hear these reasons very, very well, folks. I'm telling you, when the ultimate European prize comes down to a penalty shootout, you need ice in your veins. Instead, the Bereki Eze fired wide, and Gabriel Megales decided to test the aerodynamic integrity of the match ball, lashing the fifth undecisive penalty high over the crossbar into the Hungarian night sky. Reason number two, the great substitution evacuation. Now, Mikel Arteta's micromanagement backfired in extra time. By the time the referee blew the final whistle at 120 minutes, standard penalty maestros like Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz were off the pitch or too exhausted to step up. When your centre back is volunteering for the critical fifth penalty because the specialized attackers are sitting on the bench wrapped in foil blankets, your in-game management has totally collapsed. Now, reason number three, the naivety of Christian Mosquera. Now, high-stakes European finals punish role, unadulterated panic, holding a precious 1-0 lead. Young defender Christian Mosquera committed a clumsy, heavy-handed foul on Vicha Varaskelia inside the box. It was a completely unnecessary challenge that handed Ousmane Dembele the equalizing penalty on a silver platter. Folks, Arsenal fans, the Gunners, this is gonna be tough for you. Tough things you need to hear if you want your team to succeed in 5-10 years to come, even at least to stop or have an end or mark an end of the UEFA Champions League drought. Of course, you have to listen to these reasons, the 20 reasons I'm going to give you, all in this video, why we believe Arsenal must have lost massively to PSG or Paris Saint-Germain in the UEFA Champions League grand finale. Now, the fourth reason, the 60th minute illusion and the low block trap. Now, Kai Havertz scored a brilliant opener just 6 minutes into the game. It should have been a launch pad. Instead, it became a golden cage. Now, Arsenal instinctively flipped the park the bus switch way too early, dropping into a deep defensive shell and giving up territorial control to Luis Enrique's team for the remaining 114 minutes. Reason number 5, the ghosting of Victor Gyökeres. Now, the Swedish Viking has been an absolute revelation this season, plundering 21 goals in all competitions, including 14 to capture the Premier League Golden Boot. But in Budapest, Marquinhos and William Pacho completely pocketed Victor Gyökeres. Now, 0 shots on target, 0 key passes. He looked less like a £100 million forward and more like a tourist wandering around the Puskas Arena. Reason number 6, the perfectionist psychological hex. Now, we all know Arsenal entered the final with a staggering statistic: 11 wins and 4 draws in the UEFA Champions League this season. They were obsessed with being perfect. This psychological weight paralyzed them. Now, when Paris Saint-Germain equalized, you could visibly see the Arsenal players panic because they didn't know how to handle imperfection on the continental stage. Reason number 7, midfield suffocation and the Zubimendi lock. Luis Enrique did his homework on Arsenal's summer signing Martin Zubimendi. Now PSG deployed Vitinha and João Neves to choke off the passing lanes, completely isolating Declan Rice and forcing David Raya to bypass the midfield entirely with low percentage long balls. Reason number 8, Saka's overplayed engine. Now, Bukayo Saka is world class, no doubt. We all know. Whether you're a Manchester United fan, Liverpool fan, or you don't like and love Arsenal, believe me, Bukayo Saka is a world-class player. No doubt, no debate about that. However, human biology has its limits. Having played over 50 games for club and country this season, his explosive burst on transitions was completely neutralized by Nuno Mendes and the final half. And the final half hour, he was running on pure fumes. Reason number 9, the future to adjust or the failure to adjust to Dembele's chaos. Ousmane Dembele does not even know, by the way, which foot he's going to shoot with. Can you imagine? Which makes him totally impossible to defend against. Now, Ricardo Calafiori and Julian Timber rotated to stop him, but his chaotic, unpredictable dribbling dragged Arsenal's defensive symmetry completely out of shape. Reason number 10. Now, the set-piece genius found out. Nicolas Jova's set-piece routines have terrorized England all year. But European elites aren't fooled, or they are not fooled by the standard block and screen tactics anymore. PSG line-marshaled perfectly, neutralizing Gabriel and Saliba from all 5 of Arsenal's corners. Can you imagine? That's tactical. Set piece tactically and strategic. This time round, it didn't work out. This is elite football. The PSG players and coaching staff told Arsenal that this is not England. This is elite football. We don't joke. We don't play. We don't play games here. We don't give life chances. And no set pieces here. No foolery. No whatsoever. It's elite football. And guess what? They outsmarted the coaches, the players, and everybody at the Emirates or at the Emirates Stadium. Now, reason number 11. The historical French hex. Now, Arsenal and French opposition in knockout football are a match made in a nightmare. From the Monarch heartbreak in 2015 to being dumped out by the Paris Saint-Germain in 2024-2025 semi-finals. And now this. The Gooners seem to suffer a severe case of stage fright whenever they hear French spoken on the pitch. That must be funny, isn't it? Whenever Arsenal players, whenever Arsenal coaches, whenever they hear even a slight word said in French, they get goosebumps. They shiver, they shake, their bones start shivering, their nose, their nostrils, their lips, their tongues, their heads start sweating. And ladies and gentlemen, French is not a good language for the Arsenal players and fans. Whenever they hear French, they get goosebumps. Now, reason number 12. The management is winger blind spot. While sporting director Andrea Bata spent heavily on areas like midfield, the management failed to sign an elite cold-blooded alternative winger to share the burden with Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. Relying on late-game cameos from an inconsistent unit meant there was no direct killer instinct on the bench. Now, reason number 13. the midfield fatigue deficit. Now, we all know, of course, the sheer fiscal output demanded by Arteta's system caught up by them. Declan Rice and Mikel Merino ran a combined 28 kilometers during the match. By extra time, their pressing dropped from an elite chokehold to a polite request. Reason number 14. Over tactification, over intuition. Arteta's greatest strength is his structural control, but it is also his Achilles heel. In chaotic moments, Arsenal players looked toward the technical area for instructions instead of relying on raw footballing intuition. When the script broke, the players didn't know how to ad-lib. Reason number 15. The illusion of dominancy against minor opposition. Arsenal's incredible unbeaten run was padded by comfortably dispatching teams like Athletic Bilbao, Olympiacos, Sparta Prague in the league phase. It created a false sense of security that did not prepare them for a back-to-back champion like Paris Saint-Germain. Reason number 16. David Raya's shootout limitations. Raya is phenomenal at claiming crosses and building from the back. A masterclass, a maverick, an eccentric. He's phenomenal, by the way. But penalty shootouts require a specific type of psychological intimidation. PSG's penalty takers easily read his movements, executing clinical spot kicks that left him diving at shadows. Reason number 17. The lost transitions of the first half. Between the 10th and 40th minutes, PSG turned the ball over deep in their own half 3 separate times. A sloppy overhit pass from Martin Odegaard and a heavy touch from Gabriel Martinelli brew what should have been easy 2-0 or 3-0 killing blows. Reason number 18. The bench trust deficit. When a final goes to the wire, you need to trust your squad. Throwing on academy teenagers or fringy players in the dying embers of a Champions League final shows a lack of proven senior game changers who can alter the tactical landscape. Reason number 19. The domestic marathon mentality. Arsenal built a magnificent car designed to win a grueling 38 Premier League game marathon. They perfected the art of the clean sheet and a controlled 1-0 win. But European finals are individual, chaotic sprint races. They lacked the frantic and predictable gear required to win a cup finale like the UEFA Champions League. Reason number 20. The 2006 trauma still echoes. Now, 20 years after Samuel Eto'o and Giuliano Beretti broke Arsenal's hearts in Paris, the weight of history still hangs heavy over the club. Now, the crushing realization that they were on the verge of history caused their legs to turn to jelly the moment the shootout began. Now, to understand how high they flew before the crash, let's look at the hard statistical data of Arsenal's continental roller coaster this season. Of course, the opposition they faced in the league phase included Athletic Bilbao, Olympiacos, Atletico, and of course Prague. Now they got in the league phase 8 wins, 0 losses, and of course no. Here, get this right: no losses, no draws. And now the tactical story of that: utter dominancy, 5 clean sheets, 0 goals conceded in the first 4 matches. That's phenomenal. That's something they have really mastered in 2 Champions League, of course, league phases of the new Champions League format. Now we headed for this round of 16. They faced Bayer Leverkusen, of which they outclassed Bayer Leverkusen in a 3-1 victory. And of course, the tactical story, the tactical masterclass bounced back from 1-1 away leg to suffocate them 2-0 at the Emirates. Now, we went to the quarterfinals facing Sporting CP, winning massively 2-0. Of course, total control, maintained clean sheets across both legs, neutralizing high transition threats. Semi-finals, they face Atletico Madrid in a 2-1 victory, of course. Revenge served cold, a gritty 1-0 in Madrid, followed by a vintage 1-0 at home. Now the grand finale, Paris Saint-Germain 1-1 in, of course, 90 minutes and 4-3 on penalties. Havertz scoring at the 60th minute and Ousmane Dembele scoring a penalty or converting the penalty kick into the 63rd minute. Unbeaten in open play, broken at the finish line. That was their story, actually. The goal of the season mentioned Martin Odegaard's breathtaking 25th or the 25-yard curling half volley against Inter Milan in the league phase remains the absolute gold standard of Arsenal's individual capabilities this year. Now, a perfect combination of tactical brilliancy and spatial awareness. Now, let's look at the post-mortem diagnosis. If Arsenal are to ever turn this silver medal into gold, the management and Arteta must address 3 critical reasons or developmental areas immediately, including recruit an elite, multifunctional dynamic winger, of which the summer window has already started or is underway. Arsenal cannot continue to play Bukayo Saka into the ground. They need a world-class inside forward who can replicate Saka's output on the left or right, allowing for tactical rotation without a drop-off in creative volume. Now, of course, if they wanna overturn or turn the silver medal into gold, of course, they have to implement tactical chaos training in this upcoming preseason of 2026. Now, Mikel Arteta must allow the team to practice playing out of structure. When games become frantic, the players need to develop the autonomy to solve structural problems on the pitch without constantly looking for a sidelined blueprint. Now, 3, they must establish a dedicated penalty hierarchy. Finals are won on small margins. Arsenal must develop a stone-cold penalty taker order that accounts for late-game fatigue, ensuring defensive players are never forced into high-pressure fifth kick scenarios. Now, let's have a prediction here. When will the long night end? Of which, according to this channel, according to researchers on our desk, the verdict they make, they might win the UEFA Champions League come May 2026 after working massively and mastering the 3 reasons we have included here, including recruiting an elite multifunctional dynamic winger, implementing tactical chaos training, and establishing a dedicated penalty hierarchy. Now, after mastering that, the research desk right here at the Football Insider UG believes that Arsenal might or could win the UEFA Champions League in May 2028 if they master the 3 above. Now, Arsenal will not win the UEFA Champions League next season, believe me you. The emotional hangover from the Budapest Heartbreak, combined with a heavily congested post-World Cup schedule, will see them fall short in these semi-finals in 2027. However, in 2028, this squad will hit its absolute golden era. William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes will be at the peak of their defensive maturity. Midfield prodigies like Ethan Nwaneri and Max Dorman will transition from romantic academy prospects into hardened elite squad rotation pieces. Now, having finally tasted domestic success by winning the Premier League, the psychological barrier of being almost men will completely dissolve once Arteta adds an elite cold-blooded transition specialist to take the weight off Gyökeres and Bukayo Saka. This team will transition from an incredible defensive machine into an unstoppable European dynasty. The drought will stop at 73 years. But until then, Gooners, keep the lights on and stop letting your centre-backs take the fifth penalty.